series of our own tests. That was through our water testing campaign that we ran earlier, not just a couple of months ago. And we released the findings of that report in the beginning part of December. And what we found in that report was, generally speaking, we've got a water crisis in our rivers, dams, and several taps. So we found a bacterial load very high across these spectrums. And this really impacts health, and this impacts confidence in the water system. So this latest event, I think it's really happened in the areas that include Albertina Sisulu Road and the surrounding streets, namely the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th Avenues, as well as 10th Streets. This latest thing, I think, just goes to the point that we do have a crisis in provision of potable water. What is positive about this is that Johannesburg Water did launch precautionary water tests. They've done what we would have asked immediately if one of our members had found it. They've also tried to isolate where the fault is, and they've issued a notice. This is a thing that we at WaterCAN often do. If we find water that is problematic, we immediately request municipalities or the Water Service Authority to issue those notices. But once again, as said earlier, this really highlights the crisis that we are facing, not just in Johannesburg, by the way, countrywide, with the provision of clean, potable water.
And that is quite, scary, Jonathan, when you consider the risks it poses, for public health. Speak to us in the interim, in the immediate sense. We know, of course, that Johannesburg Water has issued out water tankers. But how should residents in the interim protect themselves, and what avenues do they have?
Look, yeah, that's always the difficult one. So obviously get the water from the water tankers if you can, purchase water if you're able to. Otherwise, what we often ask municipalities to do is issue boil notices. So boil the water. That's the quickest, surest way to get rid of any kind of bacteria that may be sitting in there. That is the immediate thing for anyone to do. And just rely on the sensors. The sensors are probably our greatest weapon that we have. If it smells funny, if it looks funny, it probably is funny. And just rely on your own common sense before drinking any water that you've given. And, of course, as I said earlier, just boil it, make sure it's clean. Just keep that water as clean as possible and try to find alternative sources until you get notified that your regular source through your tap is back to normal.